Hey, it's the Rican, and today we're talking about Project Veritas released another bombshell video. And this video kind of hits close to home for me in the sense that um, I always talk about how politics is local, and I'm, always railing against CRT and, indoctrination in our schools. Well, if you haven't heard, there's a video I'm going to share. Put this on screen real quick, and I'm going to share. Um, come on, here we go. So obviously, I'm not going to play the whole video. The good thing about Project Veritas, they usually put the highlights in the beginning and then play the whole thing. So let's just go through the highlights.
Revolutionaries. How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them? I have 190 days to turn them into revolutionaries. How do you do that? How do you scare the fuck out of them? Sacramento.
I want to start with that point there. He goes, he has 180 days to turn them into revolutionaries. This is why it's important to talk to your kids about what they learn about in school. This is, why it's good to educate yourself on key terms. If you don't educate yourself on key terms, then when stuff like this happens, you won't. Oh, excuse me. So if you don't educate yourself on terms and stuff what the teachers are teaching, then you're failing as a parent. You need to be able to know, what your kids are learning in school. And this is big. He wants to turn your kids into Antifa, communist. Well, they don't say that they're Marxist. They don't understand. They go, oh, they're anti-fascist. Well, the anti-fascists were Marxists. They were socialist also. It's just they didn't like the form of socialism that fascism is. So anyways, I'm going to keep going. He's going to talk about the organization of Antifa.
An organization that is under the banner of Antifa is very loosely organized, right? So that, when there's like right-wing rallies and stuff, then we we'll create an opposition to that. Yeah. Beautiful. Where would you go to connect to some of these organizations? I post calendar every week. And so and I do it for extra credit. So they get points for doing it. And so that encourages them to do it. And I've had students show up for protests, community events, tabling, food distribution, also things. So when they go, they take pictures, they write up a reflection, that's their extra credit. I have an Antifa flag on my wall. And a student complained about that. And he said it made him feel uncomfortable. Well, this is meant to make fascists feel uncomfortable, so if you feel uncomfortable, I don't really notice it. Maybe you shouldn't be aligning with the values that this is antithetical to. So the Cultural Revolution in the 60s was fixing the problem.
So you hear what he's doing there. He's having kids do extra credit reports by participating in protests. I mean, what more, how much more, gross can you get than, having a teacher saying, oh, well, if you want to get extra credit, you could go to a protest. That's bullshit. That shouldn't be stuff that, that shouldn't be stuff what you're getting extra credit for. That's not teachers should not be promoting that stuff. You're there to educate, not indoctrinate. But that's what's, this is what's going on in schools. You could fight CRT, but that doesn't mean it won't be taught in the classrooms. This, Antifa is not going to be, this Antifa stuff is not going to be promoted as being part of the curriculum. But this is why, as parents, It's our responsibility. Hey, what did you learn in school today? Just typical history, math. Oh, so what are you? Well, I want to know what you're learning in your classes. What are you learning in your history class? What are you doing in your math class? Are they sticking to subject? Because sometimes you'll have teachers that teach, let's say, math, and they're talking about social justice stuff in math class, and it's like that's not what they're supposed to be doing in math class. And here you have this guy who's telling his students that if you're uncomfortable with the Antifa flag, then that means that you're a fascist. The irony behind him telling that to a kid. It's like, no, the kid just realizes that, you see the stuff with Antifa on the news. It's not, as much as they try to spin it, you see all the violence that goes on in these, you know, counter, protests by Antifa. And let him talk about the cultural revolution, because I've spoken out about this too.
That came about after the economic crisis. And it ultimately failed, right? And there was a lot of excesses. People were definitely shot in the streets that probably shouldn't have been.
Incredibly ugly behavior come out of this city. And you can see a couple of people over there that might be demonstrating that.
180 days turning into.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into the whole video. I'm going to put the link in my description, just so you could see it for yourself, because I think it's very important that we watch these videos, we share these videos, because the fact that Project Veritas needs the traffic. Well, I mean, they get plenty of traffic, but we need to give it to them because they do good reporting. As much as the people want to criticize them for being a right-leaning organization, so if you're the news report, if you're the news people labeling them as right-wing, a right-wing group, unless you're neutral, which you're not, you're a left-wing group. And that's what goes on with the media. It's the bias in the media. So just in conclusion, people who have kids, doesn't matter the grade, you got to be involved in their education. You can't be passive participants, especially not now, because you have these teachers like this guy here. He's a high school teacher who are radicalizing your kids. And this is why you have to instill your proper values in them. Well, let me say it the right way. You want to instill, if you want them to, you want to instill your values into them, not what these people want to put into them. You don't, so you got to get involved with the school board as best as you can. Go to the meetings whenever you can, because it's important what these kids are learning. If you find out teachers are doing this, they need to be fired. You need to push the board to fire these type of teachers, because this is unacceptable. There's no, I want to find out, let's say in the next day or two, this teacher's fired, because he should not be a teacher, because you are not teaching kids, you're indoctrinating kids. You're just teaching, you say you're teaching them, you're indoctrinating them with your own beliefs. And the values that you're talking about that Antifa exposes, it's not your job to teach your values to our kids. It's our job as parents to teach our values to our kids. So, like I said, we got to fight them. We got to, they'll sometimes they get in a tiff about that you say you got to fight them. You got to challenge them. You got to, like I said, educate yourself on terms like oppression, not just like white privilege, because everybody knows that one, but oppressor versus oppressor, oppression, anything that goes like that, anything with intersectionality. If they're talking about, anything with intersectionality, this whole gender fluidity nonsense. This is all stuff that you have to teach your kids from young, So like that, when they're getting it in school, they could tell you and go, hey, mom, dad, uh, they were teaching us about that whole gender is a spectrum nonsense. And I didn't say nothing, but I wanted to let you guys know. So if you want to say something to the school, and even don't make it like that, because maybe the kid doesn't, maybe your kid won't tell you because they're like, you're going to make a big deal out of it. Just calmly let them know, or you want to know this because this is stuff that they're supposed to be teaching, and then quietly, go to school board meetings, go to the principals, and get these people fired. These people, these teachers, I'm gonna say quotation mark, they're not teachers. They're activists who are teaching the kids. And we need to nip that in the bud right now. Um, anyways, I'm the Ray Rican. You can follow me here. I post my videos on YouTube and Rumble. So if you subscribe to one, please subscribe to the other. You could also interact with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram. You can also shoot me an email, and I'm good at, you leave me a comment. I'm good at answering it back. Um, and also, if you send me a message on Twitter or Facebook or Gab, whatnot, I'm always willing to chat with people who watch my videos. Tell me where I'm wrong, tell me where you agree with me, tell me how I could tweak stuff, and I'll leave it there with that. So have a good one, everyone.